And during this time, we teach you all the skills. So we want to, teach you how to fish and not just throw you a mackerel in this program. So we don't just hammer you and scream at you and find your weakness and get you to quit. What we do is we take you to your breaking point, and then we give you some tools to step over that cliff and to not fall on your face, but to say, oh, my God, I'm still standing, I'm still moving. Guess what? I've got the energy to go for another 8 hours. And then so we keep on teaching mental toughness tools and tricks, tips, and one of the biggest things that we teach is that, you can't get through this camp alone, right? You've got to learn how to be a good teammate. You've got to start taking your eyes off yourself and putting them on your neighbor and helping them through their trials and tribulations. And through that, you gain strength and you grow stronger. And then the whole team has an energy about it that starts to grow stronger. And we observe this happening throughout the course of the weekend. And those who make it at the end of the weekend become like best friends. I mean, they've gone through this major crucible experience over the 50 hours, and it's very transformative. So that's what that's all about. We do less fitness instruction in that program. That's really all about, just plumbing the depths of one's soul and learning that you're capable of so much more than you think you are.
Does the either the seminar or the week-long program have a component that focuses on the Zen kind of activities that you've described?
Yeah, predominantly in the week-long, because we have the time to go into it. It's difficult in the 50-hour to spend a lot of time instructing, but we do warrior yoga, which is a program I put together which combines, yoga with some of the awareness training. We do talk about it a lot, and we ask them to practice some of these things while they're running, per se, or swimming. But we don't spend a lot of time, let's say, meditating or doing that stuff during.
So you can actually do the Zen and yoga type mental exercises, at least, or spiritual exercises, while you're actually doing the physical.
Right. That's right. Absolutely.
You run and swim and do the non-physical component as well.
Right, and it kind of, you just reminded me. You asked me what I learned, with buds that I bring into fitness. Well, kind of. Because of my martial arts training prior to going into the SEAL training, I started to practice or started to experiment is what I was looking for with that. And so on the long runs, I would start to kind of collapse my focus just to my breath, and I would just listen to my breath, right? And other times I would literally count to myself, and that's all I would try to focus on is just my count. And I'd get up to 3 and I'd go back to 0, right? 1, 2, 3. Or other times I would create a little mantra and just say it to myself. And so if you're on an 8 or 10 mile soft sand run, I could find these moments where I'd be in this complete, flow state or Zen state or whatever you want to call it. And lo and behold, like 4 miles would slip by me, and I barely even noticed it. No pain, no time. Time just is completely relative when you're in that state of total awareness, right, where you're focused on completely.
We're going to take a little break for some Progressive Radio Network announcements. When I come back, I'm going to ask you about things like the perfect push-up and pull-up,
sure,
and the fitness in a bag and those kinds of things.
That sounds great.
Think about those while we do this little break. I want to remind the audience that we're listening to Mark Devine, Commander, Navy SEAL, Active Reserve. And we're talking about fitness and what one learns from being a SEAL and how you learn that training from Mark. And this is Of Consuming Interest, and I'm Jim Turner, attorney in Washington, D.C., chairman of the board of Citizens for Health. And we'll have a few announcements from Progressive Radio Network.
Progressive Radio Network. Information for the independent mind.
Hello, I'm Carol Brouillet, host of Community Currency on Progressive Radio Network every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. Please join us as we connect people, ideas, important information, and discover solutions to some of the most urgent problems facing us. Every Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m., Community Currency on Progressive Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Eric Davis, host of Expanding Mind. Join me and co-host Maja Daou each week as we explore the culture of consciousness, spirituality, neuroscience, media tech, and all manner of wonders and esoterica. Expanding Mind streams every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Progressive Radio Network. Keep your mind open.
Greetings. This is Dr. Cheryl Stillman, a naturopathic doctor, author, and women's health advocate, inviting you to enter the Women's Healing Circle, a live call-in holistic show every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Finally, there is a place that freely shares the most effective natural solutions for the many health challenges unique to women. Learn how you can get your hormones back on track, uplift your mood, banish fatigue, and so much more from a holistic perspective. The Women's Healing Circle is dedicated to empowering you with truthful information so you can make the most informed decisions regarding your health. Join me and the Women's Healing Circle every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Let your imagination fly. I'm Francesca Rhiannon. Take a trip with me through the literary landscape of Writer's Voice. Join the tour and the conversation as we talk with writers of all genres about matters that move us and make us think. Right here on the Progressive Radio Network, every Saturday at noon.
You are listening to PRN, Progressive Radio Network.
Welcome back to Wealth Consuming Interest. I'm Jim Turner, attorney in Washington, D.C. and board chair of Citizens for Health. And today we're talking with Commander Mark Devine, the U.S. Navy Reserve SEAL. And we're discussing how the lessons of the SEAL world get applied to fitness and activities that people can carry on outside of the military and outside of the SEALs. Mark, I said when we were leaving I was going to ask you about things like the perfect push-up and the perfect pull-up.
Right. The perfect push-up and the perfect pull-up were developed by a SEAL named Alden Mills. He was actually on active duty about the same time as I at SEAL Team 1. And it's interesting, before I talk about that tool, there's been a number of SEALs, I guess including myself, who've gone out and been very successful entrepreneurs in the fitness realm. So there's clearly, the training that we did was certainly relevant to the rest of the world, and the entrepreneurial kind of spirit that SEALs develop has kind of played itself out. And so you have the perfect push-up. You have my friend Randy Hetrick, who's developed the TRX training system, which is a suspension
I was going to ask you about that, too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, and then also my friend Phil Black, who's one of my SEALFIT coaches, developed a deck of cards called the Fit Deck, which is fantastic. I mean, you literally put this thing in your pocket and go anywhere, and you've got fitness in the pocket. But the thing to remember is these are all tools, right? The training, has to be done by you, right? You've got to do the work. You've got to figure out how to put those tools into a program that makes sense. And so that's kind of where I come in. Is I'm a full program, and I'll teach you and motivate you. And ours is much more integrative and uses tools like the Fit Deck and TRX. So those are all fantastic tools. The perfect push-up, what's unique about that is it provides a rotation. If you do a push-up, if you were on like a rotating mat and you did a push-up, the mat would rotate underneath you. And so just from the natural rotation of your elbow and your shoulder joint. And so he developed this device that would rotate as you pushed up, and it's a more natural movement. So therefore, it's more effective, right? But it's still just a tool for doing a push-up, from a fitness standpoint. It's not going to get you in better shape unless you do more push-ups, obviously. The TRX is pretty neat because, there have been suspension systems in yoga for years, and so he didn't invent anything new in that sense, but he certainly invented something new by bringing it to the fitness world.
So now you're describing it as a suspension system. What does that exactly mean?
Well, I'll give you kind of draw a picture of why it came or how it came into existence. So you imagine a bunch of SEALs on a ship, right? And when SEALs are on a ship, there's really not much for us to do. I mean, we used to say that we would eat till we're tired and sleep till we're hungry, right, and work out in between. Because we're really going someplace to go do a mission. So, we might have like 3 weeks to work out, and just doing push-ups and sit-ups on that kind of nasty flight deck got boring really quick. And so what Randy's platoon did, he and his rigger, his parachute rigger, these guys, learn how to sew really well, built this little device where they could hang upside down from these big Conex boxes and do inverted push-ups, and then they put their feet in it and, pike their hips up and down, and you get a tremendous core workout and do all sorts of funky things with it. And they got a much better workout, and it was way more fun than just doing push-ups and sit-ups on a deck. And so then he took that product, and when he got out of the SEALs, he made that into a product, and he's done a phenomenal job of promoting and developing that product and creating a training program around it, and I think a lot of the military is starting to use it.